Hi, this is Chris Cordial at the Adirondack Youth Climate Summit. I'm here today with Jerry Jenkins from the Wildlife Conservation Society. How has climate change affected the Adirondacks?
Well, first, it simply made it warmer, less snow on the ground in the winter for less long. Spring comes earlier, fall comes later, less ice. It's brought us new birds. It's not necessarily brought us fewer of the northern birds, but they are dropping down. And we're seeing more rain, more violent rainstorms, and more flooding.
Would you attribute this to changes in our carbon footprint?
Very definitely. And I would go farther, and I think many scientists would stand with us to say that if we still had the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere that we had 100 years ago, we would not be seeing the weather, and we would not be seeing the changes in the seasons that we're seeing nowadays.
How could students reduce their carbon footprint in their schools?
You know, as I think about it, and with the emphasis on how could the students do it, I think getting locally grown food or growing food themselves into the schools may be one of the single most important things. Now, that's because, I mean, there are other things. There's insulating the building, there's solar panels, there's doing something about the school bus fleet, but those are difficult, and students are not going to do that, and it's going to take many years. But for a thing that one can do in 1 year is to get local food with a much smaller carbon footprint into the schools, a meal a week, 3 meals a week, get it into families, bring it to yourself in your lunch boxes, but anything we can do to lower the carbon footprint of food, which is very large when it's not local, would be a big change, and it's a fast change, and it's a change that actually doesn't cost a lot of money.
What's a way that people could combat climate change in their homes and in the community?
There are a series of steps. The first step is simply thrift. I mean, you can go out and spend X number of thousands of dollars to buy a more efficient car, or you can just simply drive your car less. You can take fewer trips in it with more people in the car. Anything that increases efficiency, insulation, more efficient fuels, but also simply buying less stuff. Every time you buy a box of stuff or order a box of stuff and bring it home, that's carbon. Put it in the bank. Spend it on solar panels instead. But so those basic things, thrift, food, using less, buying less, those are all the fastest, the most direct routes. Then it gets really fancy. Then you get zero net energy houses and heat recovery, ventilation, and solar panels and geothermal heating. And that's all very important, but it's pricey. But start with thrift, old New England advice.
The keynotes of your presentation was thrift and efficiency. Could you expand on these more?
Sure. And they're related, but they mean slightly different things. Thrift means simply not using stuff that you don't have to use. It means turning down the heat when you're not in the house. It means not buying stuff that just fills up rooms or that fills up a storage shed. So thrift is the stuff that you don't do. It means not making 5 trips to town a week and so on. So thrift is the stuff that you don't do, that you live simpler and cheaper. Efficiency is how you do what you have to do with less energy. So efficiency is a hybrid car or an electrical car, is better windows, is often moving from oil as a heat source to passive solar, to wood and things like that as a heat source. So efficiency is using the energy you use better. Thrift is just simply saying, I won't use it at all. We'll turn the heat off in that room. We don't go in there all winter. That's efficiency.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it.